Our country should not hold these children accountable for the choices their parents made. Would anyone in this room want to or expect to be held accountable for decisions their parents made? I think not. Such distinctions are abhorrent to us as Americans. Many of our forebears came to this land to escape such types of social stratification. In this land, every person is to be judged by his or her own character and accomplishments, not those of his or her parents. God himself has pledged such an approach to individual accountability. In the Hebrew Scriptures, held by me and billions of others as God's revealed will, the prophet Ezekiel, speaking God's pronouncement, declared, "A son won't suffer punishment for a father's iniquity, and a father won't suffer punishment for the son's iniquity." If God will not hold children accountable for the sins of their parents, certainly we should not either. As an evangelical Christian, I rely heavily on the teachings of the Bible to help me develop my thoughts about all aspects of life, my own and my nation's. I fully support the biblical teaching of the divine origin and role of government as laid out in such passages as Romans chapter 13, verses 1 to 5. However, that passage does not give government the freedom to act in any way it chooses. It states that God's design for government is to punish bad behavior and to reward good behavior. Surely we would all agree that this is a fundamental purpose of government. While every person brought to this country illegally as a minor should not qualify for special consideration by this subcommittee, many certainly should. Those who are of good moral character and demonstrate a desire to make their own way through life should be given a chance to come out of the shadows and join in the full life and vitality of our nation. We should, in other words, reward their good behavior. This is a group of people who embody many of the characteristics we value in Americans. This is the spirit our nation celebrates. We should celebrate that spirit in these young men and women as well and provide a way forward for them. As you consider legislation to assist these children of undocumented immigrants to fully prepare for full and productive lives in our nation, here are some things I would urge you to consider. First, it's difficult to imagine how you can fully address their needs without also addressing the needs of the other undocumented immigrants in our nation, including their parents. It is my hope and prayer that Congress will see this as one piece of a bigger plan that meets the principles of sound immigration reform. We can honor the rule of law, secure our borders, and chart a just and compassionate way forward for the millions of other undocumented immigrants living peacefully and productively in our midst. Second, some parameters are in order as you chart a way forward for these young people. I've suggested some in my full testimony, which you have, like evidence of prior residence in the country, enrollment in higher education or some form of national service like the military, which you just heard the gentleman speak of, completion of high school or a GED, granting a provisional legal status while they fulfill their obligation, and then eligibility for a green card and citizenship afterward. I thank the committee for your willingness to tackle this important matter. We are dealing with lives here, not only laws. Let justice be blind, but let her also be discerning. Their character and drive reveal that these young men and women under consideration represent some of the best of what we are looking for in our future citizenry. We should welcome them and encourage them and empower them to stand tall. As we honor them and their commitment, we say to a watching world, and likely to a watching citizenry, that this really is still a land of opportunity and promise.